I watched a video and I think you forwarded same to me. I already watched it actually before you forwarded it to me. I don't know, did you send it to me or I watched it on your WhatsApp status or so? Yeah, I think I can't remember. Yeah, where Tinubu, I don't know why when Tinubu travel. No, okay, I wouldn't say I don't know because I know. I know why anytime he travels, they don't regard him. He's always relegated to the background. And I'm watching this after watching this video, I just shook my head. I said, "What the heck? Why did we get this kind of humiliation from South Africa of all countries?" South Africa. Remember how Nigeria as a nation, both our government and individuals, including our musicians. I remember so many of our musicians sang during that apartheid regime. For God's sake, we played a very prominent role. Nigeria and Nigerians, both the government of Nigeria and the citizens of Nigeria, played a very prominent role in ousting the apartheid regime in South Africa, ushering in a democratic, not democratic, ushering in the real, taking away the colonialists, pushing out the colonialists, and ushering in the taking over of the system by the citizens, by the owners of the country. That is when President Nelson Mandela became the president then, sort of. So I don't understand why. Okay, let me not say I don't understand. I do understand why. But at the same time, what I expected from the South African government is to respect the institution, not the person. I understand why they don't respect. Nobody respects Tinubu. Nobody respects him because you cannot respect somebody with a criminal background. Everything about Tinubu is criminal. His entire background is criminal. Up to his leadership assuming the presidency of Nigeria is criminal, as far as I'm concerned. A sort of. So, of course, he will not. Nobody will respect him. But at the same time, I expect South Africa as a country to respect the institution, and that's where I come in. That's why I still refer to Tinubu as the president, because I'm respecting the institution, and I believe that every system you just have to. You don't have option but to have a leader that you can really address as a leader. And that's just why, otherwise, honestly, someone like me, I would never have referred Tinubu as the president of Nigeria, because we all know how he became the president. We didn't vote for him. He just bulldozed his way to presidency. And that is just it. And that's exactly what other nations, other countries that's what they are looking at. But I do not expect them to look at the person. I expect them to look at the institution. Respect the institution as a nation, a sort of. So I don't know. Can you please, Barrister Manta? Can you? I don't know. Did you watch the video?
Definitely, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Please. Can you? I don't know. Can you give us your thoughts on that video, please?
Well, I don't know who to put the blame on now, but let me say that visits of head of state are not things that happen on the spur of the moment or without advanced planning, negotiation, and agreement. Correct. For instance, now, if the president of the United States is going to any country, an advanced team will go and negotiate even the sitting arrangement.
Yes.
Who will shake hands with him? What if to the smallest detail is negotiated, put down in writing and signed before, if he's not satisfied with even the sitting arrangement, he can abort the trip.
Yeah.
So we have to learn something like that. When the president was going for the inauguration of the South African president, we are expected to believe that an advanced team has gone there, checked the sitting arrangement, checked the protocol processes, everything, agreed with their South African counterparts before our own president will go there. That is how these things are done. But again and again, we find our president visiting and this kind of things happen. In the first place, our president, in an event happening in Africa, how can the president of Nigeria not be on the first row?
Honestly.
It's unthinkable. In an event that is happening in Africa, and we are supposed to be the giant of Africa, how can, by what arrangement would the president of Nigeria not sit next to the president of South Africa? I don't understand that. And this shaking of hands, a clear act of disrespect. Honestly. Because the person is standing in front of you, you shake the person before him, then when he comes to his turn, you left and shake the person after him. There's no excuse, no explanation that can be logically given for that kind of action. And the South African government recognized this thing. They recognized the complaints and actions that happened after that. So the president of South Africa had to rush to the hotel of Tinubu in South Africa to apparently apologize or whatever.
Sorry to cut you short. The problem is, honestly, what are they apologizing? Just like that, which is in all diplomatic setting, that's exactly what happened. There is anything that has to do with diplomacy. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing. Not everything is pre-planned, including the most insignificant thing that will be done there. Everything is in print, in clear understanding of everybody. Now, like what you pointed, why will Tinubu, for God's sake? You see, my problem with this is this. This man is so, when he comes to Nigeria, the man is just wielding power and authority all everywhere. He wants arrogance and pride. He's just full of arrogance and pride. But when he goes outside, you will just see him looking like a chicken that was beaten by rain. For God's sake, why will he accept such arrangement in the first place? Just like that we are the giant of Africa. He like everything. We are the most significant country in Africa. We are the leader of Africa, whether you accept it or not. By all indices, we have all the paraphernalia that makes us leader. If not the issue of mismanagement, we should be among the superpowers in global economy. Now, for us to have our president, Nigeria's president, to be at the back row of diplomacy, it is so annoying. And this or whatever, let's even assume, okay, Tinubu, let's even assume that what you just enumerated, what you just pointed out as the diplomatic procedures didn't occur. And he just probably was expecting to be on the front row, and they just relegated him they gave him the second row. Under normal circumstances, if I were in his shoes, the president, I will immediately ask my pilots, start up the plane. We are moving, we are going back. I would have left that place immediately without any whatever, not even to the airport, not to my hotel. Talk less of even being there, accepting the second role, and the worst one happened, where your host, who is supposed to be your second in command, informally second in command in Africa, because after Nigeria, of course, the Africa takes when it comes to economy. South Africa takes when it comes to. Who was supposed to be your second in command, and you were supposed to give that recognition, special recognition, especially considering the role Nigeria and Nigerians played in South Africa. I don't get it, for God's sake. Please, okay, you are not done with your point. Finish your point, please. Let's move to, sorry, I cut you short. And so honestly, yes, it's so annoying. Honestly, it's so annoying. Please go ahead.
Just like I said, it was unbelievable to most of us who were watching the events unfold. Like I say, even the route that you will take to get to any place is always pre-arranged and agreed upon. And if you do not accept, this was inauguration of a president. It's not a mandatory event. It's not an Organization of Africa Unity event that you must attend. If you did not agree with the arrangement, you will simply stay back. But let me go further and say that if you heard the report that came up now, you know, there was a time that Nigeria was the largest economy. Under Jonathan, our economy was rebased and we became the largest economy in Africa. Now we are number 4. The present...
oh, we are number 4 now.
Yes,
I thought
we
we are
have
number
gone
2.
to number 4 behind South Africa, Egypt, and 2 other countries. We are now number 4. We are no longer the largest economy in Africa. So that is now going to be reflected in foreign affairs. It's going to be reflected in public occasions. Are we now going to accept this kind of nonsense? It's so embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing.
Honestly. Okay, let's come to Segun. Segun, you know, this is not the first time it happened with. Okay, it wasn't this glaring. It wasn't this brazen when it was during the Dubai trip and the Qatar trip. But it was just similar things, similar denigration of Nigerian president, sort of. So the same thing played out, not exactly, but not as demeaning as this, but at least similar thing played out. Please, what's your opinion? What's your thought on this? In case you are speaking, your mic is mute. Please unmute your mic. Yeah, okay.
It seems the network around your area there seems to be bad.
Oh, really? Okay.
Your network seems to be bad. I didn't quite get. I heard Barrister clean and clear, but when it came to you, it was breaking. But I can just go ahead and just and talk. Yeah. I believe we're talking about the incident in a couple of days ago in South Africa.
Correct.
There are some questions we need to ask ourselves, and they're basic and they're very important. The first question is, was he invited to the occasion? We need to ask ourselves that. Then secondly, Barrister mentioned something about the protocol people going to negotiate. What was the negotiation that he got? Did they settle for less because he wasn't invited to be on a second row? And at a point, you could see him doing the Rankadede sign, as if, you know, bowing to Ramaphosa. And you begin to wonder, okay, well, I'm in your country, I'm a second citizen here, so Rankadede, then whatever it is important. After sharing the video with you, a couple of some of my friends on the media platform, quickly, when they saw that people were, you know, just expressing anger the way you're expressing here, we sent another video where, in a different setting, where the President Ramaphosa shook hands. They actually walked up to President Tinubu and shook hands with him. And they also followed it up with another video of President Ramaphosa visiting him in his hotel. And it was said that they had a fruitful discussion. Nobody said the outcome of the discussion. Nobody mentioned anything that the discussion was all about. The truth about the whole matter is, either we like it or not, we have lost respect in the circle of African countries. We're no longer number 1. Nobody fears Nigeria anymore. Nobody thinks about Nigeria as a superpower. Nobody looks at Nigeria as a big brother. Nobody looks up to us anymore. Some of these countries are independent, they are free, and they also have their own people thinking. No thanks to the kind of embarrassing situation that we have had politically. We're not talking about the 419 activities happening around and some of the other incredible and incredulous things that have been done by Nigerians. Aside being fantastic people outside here, outside the shores of Nigeria, we have also been fantastic on the other side of it. So positively, negatively, we've been like that. And unfortunately, we've had one of the worst elections in the history, in the annals of the history of this country, with the election in 2023. People thought what we saw in 2019 was horrible. But what happened in 2023 showed that we are not ready to learn. As a matter of fact, while that meeting was going on and presidents were talking and people were giving their ideas on how to move Africa forward and how much they respect and admire South Africa, some people were busy comparing the elections in South Africa with our elections in Nigeria. While we're struggling with Professor Mahmoud, are trying to, Mahmoud Yakubu, who went on to distort the results that we had on IREF, after promising us and swearing that he was going to give us one of the most credible elections that Nigeria has ever seen. And as a matter of fact, I remember that he was asked what to say in layman's terms, what it means to transmit election electronically. And he explained that it will be in real time. As you're voting, it is counted, and you can see the counting against the political parties and against the candidates. Unfortunately, it was the same person who teamed up with APC to go to court and distort materials, and of course refuse, and even told us that while the elections was going on, some persons were trying to hack into the system, and of course that was why we had the distortion. So the comparison was just about how clean and clear the election in South Africa was. You could see the table, you could see it electronically, you could watch it anywhere, even on your phone. There was an app, I think, that was developed that you could monitor while you're working to see where you are and the percentage per state. Unlike in Nigeria, where we had to have professors line up to come and read lies to us, and they were even making mistakes. So the bottom line is we have lost respect in the circles of African nations. Nobody sees us as people to run to anymore. You were talking about Nigeria fighting for South Africa during the apartheid. You remember what happened with the xylophobic attacks, where Nigerians were targeted, particularly, and were chased out of South Africa, were hunted down like dogs, and the government couldn't do anything about it, except for the vocal man. I've forgotten his name now. I think it's Malema. It was Malema who stood up and was fighting for Nigerians and saying that the problem is not Nigerians, but the colonialists who think Nigeria wants to colonize South Africa. But of course, what we did out of good faith, thinking that we're fighting for an African brother who does not see us the way we see them. So what is the relationship? What are the benefits that we gain from South Africa? What is it that we can say about South Africa that Nigeria has benefited after fighting for apartheid for them? Aside from improving on corruption and thinking of ways to subvert justice and create chaos. And at the end of the day, we also want respect. If you're demanding respect from people, you must also respect yourself. Like you concluded here, and the barrister also added, you would have expected that if you're not invited, I don't think if you're invited, you will be put in that second line. If you're invited as an African giant, you'll be in the first 10. If you're not in the first 10, there's no point going there for validation. Because as far as I'm concerned, I think they just went there thinking that, of course, if there was such exposure, people will think that South Africa has accepted President Tinubu as the president, and of course, they value him and respect him. But of course, we all know, like we have been saying here, that those governments don't see us as a threat anymore. They don't see us as big brothers anymore. They don't see us as people that they run to anymore. They have a mind of their own. We have lost credibility, we've lost grounds, we've lost integrity, and nobody seems to worry about us. So I don't see it as anything anyway.
Your mic is, please unmute your mic.
People have already, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So in conclusion, countries have moved past us. They are no longer thinking about going to Nigeria to borrow money. They're not thinking about Nigeria as a big brother that can give advice or give support anymore, because they know we are not organized. And it's quite unfortunate that we are in this situation, and nobody seems to be interested in making anything better for us. It's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, it is quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate that people are actually holding on. You made mention of individually how Nigerian citizens we have a negative opinion over globally as well. I don't know why people hold on to the negative. Every human being, every system have its negative and positive side. When people actually generalize by calling Nigerians maybe kind of having that view of Nigeria being a country where its citizens are just fraudulent or whatever, I always fought that idea, because they are failed. I don't know why it is the negative side the people prefer to hold on to other than the positive side. like you pointed out earlier, you noted it very vaguely though, that Nigerians are really, really known for the best. Honestly, anywhere you see Nigerians, when you go to any whatever, either in the US, in Europe or whatever, any part of the world where you see Nigerians, they are go through whatever system it is. If you are going through, if it's through academics, you see them being they are always on top. They're always on top of other parts of Africa. They always come in first on everything. Go to medical practitioners, all practitioners, medical, engineering, anything, whatever. It is Nigerians globally, anywhere, whatever. In the US, they are thriving so much. There are so many good things. They are always on top of the game. In every whatever, in the US, wherever you find Nigerians, they are always the performing guy or performing lady there. That is, I don't know why people don't see that that part of us, that brilliance and intelligent part of us, where we are, and incidentally, this intelligence is what, unfortunately, we are. This intelligence and brilliance is what, unfortunately, some Nigerians that are actually very few actually, that are actually painting us, being seen to be being viewed to be the negatively representative of Nigerians as a whole. It is this same intelligence that they apply on the fraudulent aspect, because when you talk of fraud, let's be sincere. Anything fraud, any crime, it takes an intelligent person, man, woman, to actually successfully execute a crime. It's not anyone who is daft and foolish cannot successfully execute a crime. Now, I am not trying to whatever. It's abhorrent actually to indulge in crime. I'm not trying to justify that. There is no justification to going into crime. Don't get me wrong. Don't take me out of context. I am totally against Nigerians going into fraud or whatever. But what I'm trying to say here is that people are globally, people refuse, or deliberately or cynically or mischievously chose to focus on the negative part of Nigeria and Nigerians than the positive. Because Nigerians are, like I said, they are doing good. We have the majority of Nigerians are the good ones. Just the minority are the ones actually giving us this bad image globally. Barrister,
if I may add.
Yes, quickly, please.
Okay, if I may add, you see, I agree with you. But unfortunately, what we do individually seems to be more productive than what we do collectively. Unfortunately, we've not been blessed with the kind of government that will project us properly to show Nigeria as a country that is serious. So, but individually, when we go out, we break these records, we set these records. Unfortunately, the bad ones are the ones that are highlighted, but the good ones seems to be talked in. So it is not really as bad as it is. But of course, if we have a government that projects this good part of us, I'm sure we will go a long way to project us better to the world.
Yeah, thank you for that. Barrister, you have anything to add to this so that we can move to this? Okay, go ahead, please.
I have to add that countries in international relations, countries treat other countries based on how important they are to them. That's the basis. There's no sentiment on this. The more important you are to a country, the more respect the country accords you. So between Nigeria and South Africa, they are not seeing how important Nigeria is to South Africa. You will not see, just like we have mentioned, Nigerians are doing wonderfully well. They are excelling in their professions outside the country. But few of these experts are in South Africa. You will not find many Nigerian doctors there, engineers, or all these people there. What we send to South Africa are what we call hustlers, unemployed poor people that run to South Africa to hustle, establish kiosks, sell in wheelbarrows together with the poor South Africans. So that is the image that the average South African is seeing of Nigeria. So that brings no respect to us. So we have to look at all these things. What are we exporting to South Africa? We are exporting our hustlers, let me put it this way. And they are competing at the lowest level with the average South Africans. So there's bound to be friction, there's bound to be anger. They look at us through the prism of those people those Nigerians that they interact with on a day-by-day basis. And then our economy was the giant in Africa, of course, that by itself, whether you like it or not, had to attract respect to us. Now we are going down. We are going down. So along with it, we go our respect as well. Look at the few South African companies that are doing business in Nigeria. DSTV, ShopRite has already packed up. They have sold their shares. They are going. Apart from DSTV today, you cannot point to any significant South African company.
MTN.
Okay, MTN. Then what do we have in South Africa? Virtually nothing. And this DSTV and MTN are almost indispensable in Nigeria. Although they are, like DSTV now is struggling, is just keeping his head above the waters. So we have to look at it. How do you project your image to a foreign country? We have to re-examine the way we do things. We have to examine every aspect of our life, from our elections, from who is our leader, from how we conduct foreign relations, to everything, how we conduct economic relations, if we have to maintain and increase our respect among countries of the nation. If US is giving Nigeria respect, they are thinking of about 5,000 Nigerian doctors in the system, in the US. Yeah. They are thinking of Nigerian engineers. They are thinking of so many other Nigerians that are positively contributing to the US society and economy. You cannot say the same of South Africa. So let's understand, let our government understand international relations. There is no sentiment in it. It's just hard work. And they have to rebuild that trust and confidence and respect that Nigeria used to have that has now been eroded.